All right, welcome back. So, a few days ago, we talked about combinations and permutations. We also talked about tree diagrams, outcomes as well. So, this entire unit is just about probability. Okay, so today we're going to review those. This is 10.4. Okay, so let's review part one. And I do have my calculator on the side here. Again, it's if you Google Desmos scientific calculator, this is what you should pull up. Okay. The link is also in Schoology. So let's talk about part one, tree diagrams. Okay, so tree diagram. So how many outcomes are there in two coin flips? Okay, so if we remember way back when we talked about coin flips. Well, in a coin, I only have two outcomes. I only have heads or tails. Okay, so when I'm doing a tree diagram, I always talk about my first outcome, or in this case, it's my first flip. If I flip my coin, okay, I could either come out with heads or tails. I don't know which one. There's no certainty. Okay, but I actually flip it twice. So I'm going to say my second flip. My first outcome could be heads. My second outcome could be heads or tails. Let's say my first outcome was tails. Well, my second outcome could be heads or tails. Okay, so then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. In total, I have 4 outcomes. Okay, this is an example of a tree diagram. Let's talk about number 2. So how many outcomes are there in 3 coin flips? Okay, so let's talk about my first flip, my second, and my third. So my first flip, when I flip my coin, again, similar to the first problem, I could have heads or I could have tails. Not sure which one. My second flip, I could have heads or tails if I got heads first, or if I got tails first, I could have heads or tails. Well, then again, my third flip. So I could have heads first, heads second. My third flip could be heads or tails. I could have heads first, tails second. My third one could be heads or tails. Hopefully you see a pattern here, heads or tails, and then heads or tails. This is specific because it's coin flips. If you're talking about other things, you would have different outcomes as well. Okay, so when I'm counting the amount of outcomes, I'm always looking at that bottom row. How many outcomes do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I have 8 possible outcomes. And you can list those outcomes. It's not necessary as long as you know how to get those outcomes. Okay? All right, most recently we talked about combinations and permutations. So let's talk about combinations. Okay, so combinations was you're looking for keywords such as combinations, choose, something like that. Okay, in combinations, you're given 2 sets of numbers. You're choosing this out of this. Okay, permutations was a little different, and we'll talk about that when we get to that in just a second. But you do need your calculator for this, which is why I have my calculator on the left here. So let's talk about the first one. So you get to choose, there's my keyword, 2 dressings for a salad bar. If there are 9 total dressings to choose from, how many combinations are there for your salad dressing? Okay, so again, we are choosing 2 out of 9. So that's how I know it's a combination. So with combinations, I will have that C. The bigger number goes on the left side of that. So in this case, 9 is my bigger number. The smaller number goes on the right side of that. And it is not next to. It is like a subscript, so it's right below it. Okay? And that's what we want. So we are going to look at this in our calculator. So again, if I go on my calculator to the left here, if I go on the top of the numbers, I have main, ABC, function, degree, clear all, that stuff. So I'm going to go over to function. Okay. What we're looking for is something that says NCR or N choose R. Okay. Which if I look at my bottom row, it is that second one there. So that's what I have, N choose R. I'm going to go back to my main. because now I got to plug in my numbers. My bigger number goes first, so 9. Put in that comma, and then 2 is my smaller. Close my parentheses, press enter. I should have 36. So I have 36 combinations of salad dressings I could pick from, or I could have. Okay, so that was combinations. Again, it's something out of something. Okay, let's talk about number 4. So you have to pick 4 shirts for your vacation. If you have 20 shirts, how many combinations, there's my keyword, how many combinations of shirts could you have, or can you pick? Okay, so I have my C, my bigger number, so I'm choosing 4 out of 20, so my 20 is my bigger number, 4 is my smaller. Again, I'm going to use my function, I'm going to go there. On my calculator, choose that NCR. Go back to my main. My bigger number here is 20, so 21st, comma, 4. Make sure you put that comma in there, otherwise we don't know, we're thinking that you're talking about 204. Okay, so it's very different. So in this case, my answer is 4845. So I have 4,845 combinations. 4,845 combinations. I have that many combinations to choose from when I am picking the shirts that I want to bring on vacation. That's a lot of different combinations I could pick. And that's totally fine. Okay, let's continue. So number 5, how many ways can you order any 5 letters of an alphabet? So this one is tricky. Okay, so I have 5 letters and I have the alphabet. Well, how many letters are in the alphabet? Well, we know there's 26 letters. So in this case, I actually know that it is a a combination, because I'm choosing 5 out of 26. Okay, so then I can go see my bigger number is 26 out of 5. I'm going to go over to my calculator, NCR, 26, comma 5, close parentheses. I have 65,780. So I have 65,780 combinations. So if I were to pick any 5 letters in my alphabet, there are 65,780 ways to do that. Okay. This last part, the calculate the following, is just computation. Okay, so we already have what I'm given. All I want to do is plug it into my calculator. So again, we're using that function button and choose R. Go back to my main. In this case, I have 12, comma 5. Close my parentheses. I get 792. Okay, this is a good point in the video to pause. Try the last few on your own. There's only 3 left. Come back and play when you are ready. All right, so B, I have 20, choose 6. When I plug that into my calculator, 20, choose 6, I should get 38,760. Okay, next one again, and choose R. In this case, I have 10, comma 8, and I get 45. And my last one, again, I need that and choose R from the function, 4, comma 2, I should get 6. Okay, so that was combinations. I'm choosing something out of a bigger number. Okay. We also talked about factorials. So factorials was when I have a group of objects, numbers, letters, what have it. Okay, and I want to order them in a certain way. Okay, so my keyword is order. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. So how many ways can you order? There's my keyword, the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Okay, well, how many letters do I have here? I am not picking letters. That's different. Combinations I'm picking. Factorials, I am not, I am ordering. Okay? So in this case, I have 9 letters. Okay, well, I want to know how many ways can I order it? Well, this is actually 9 factorial. And yes, that is an exclamation point, but that is a math exclamation point, which just means factorial. So in my calculator to the left here, I'm putting in 9. Again, go back to that function. Right next to the n choose r is a little exclamation point. That's what I want. And this is 362, 880. So I have that many ways, 362,880 ways to order those 9 letters. Okay, so factorial is when I'm taking the number that I'm given, in this case it's 9, multiplying it by. So 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 and then times 1. So I'm working my way down, okay? The calculator does it really quickly with the factorial button. You could also do it the long way, but it just makes this step a little bit easier when I can use that button. So let's go back, let's talk about number 8. So how many ways can we order the numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So in this case, I have 6 numbers. So there's 6 factorial. Again, my keyword was order. Not always will you get these keywords, but most of the time you will. So in this case, I just did it in my calculator. I get 720 ways. Okay, let's move on to number 9. How many ways can you order? There's my keyword. The students in this class that we have, this class size is 12. So 12 factorial. 479,001,600. So I have 472,001,600 ways to order. And yes, that does seem like a lot, and it completely is a lot. Okay, but that's okay. The higher numbers we go, the more ways we will have. Okay, all right, number 10. So how many ways can 7 kids place in a race? Okay, well, I have 7 kids, not 7 kids out of something, 7 kids in total. Okay, so I have 7 factorial. So again, 7 factorial. I have 5,040 ways. Okay, but then I have another question. It says, how many ways can these 7 kids place in first, second, or third? Okay, so I have 3 places. So what I want to know is, of those 7, how many can we pick to be in first, second, and third place? So now we're going back to actually combinations, okay? So not factorials. So I have 7 kids, and I want to pick 3 of them for first, second, and third. So this is a choose problem, okay? So again, in my functions, NCR, 7, 3, I have 35 ways. All right, this last part is just calculating the following. This part, all we got to do is find those values. We don't have to do much with that. Okay, so I'm going to do A with you guys. So we want 5 factorial. So 5 again in my calculator function, go to that exclamation point, press enter. This is 120. This is a good opportunity to pause the video, try those last 4 on your own, and then play back when you are ready. All right, so let's talk about 12 factorial. So we're going to put 12, again, factorial. There's that big number again. 479,001,600. There we go. Okay. And then let's talk about 7 factorial. So 7 factorial, 5040. Do 9 factorial, 362,880. So I have 362,880. Okay. E was a little different. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to subtract 6 factorial from 4 factorial. So let's do this first. Let's find what 6 factorial is first. I get 720. Okay, and then I want to subtract that from 4 factorial. So 4 factorial, I get 24. Okay, well then I want 720 minus 24. I get 696 as my answer. Okay, so we just went over tree diagrams, combinations, and factorials. Okay, so that was the end of 10.4.